In this lesson, we'll be working on the project 14B. When we isolate part of a clip for compositing in Final Cut Pro, we're usually talking about keying, matting, or masking a clip with filters. A key isolates a foreground object in the frame by making the background transparent, and that background must be of a consistent color or brightness for the effect to work. A color-based key, also known as blue screen or green screen, uses a chroma key or similar filter, and a key off brightness uses the luma key filter. Mattes and masks create an area of transparency with a shape, either drawn over the clip in the case of a matte, or borrowed from another clip or file in the case of a mask. Although the terms matte and mask are often used interchangeably, all of these filters can be used in combination, and you'll often use a matte of some kind in combination with a chroma key to clean up your key. Let's look at this frame of Buster the dog in a makeshift green screen studio. First, a word about the setup, in case you feel like trying this yourself. These were bed sheets bought on sale at Target, stuck to the wall with frog tape from the local hardware store, which keys out surprisingly well. The color of the fabric could have been a bit more saturated, but the whole rig cost $14, so it's hard to complain. As for lighting, you want to keep the subject a good distance from the background, so you can light them separately and not get any shadows. Above all, the background must be smooth, shadowless, and evenly lit. We have a solid key color around the subject, but it doesn't fill the entire frame. So before we work on the key, we're going to look at 3 methods for making those outer areas transparent: a mask shape, a garbage matte, and basic cropping. In the effects bin, go to Video Filters and double-click the Matte bin to open it in a separate window. Drag the Matte tab into the main browser window's tab area. Now, drag the Mask Shape filter onto the Buster clip. A rectangular mask is applied by default, and if you click the Canvas View pop-up over to Alpha, you can see exactly what's going on. White is opaque, black is transparent. Click back to RGB. Double-click the clip to open it in the viewer, and go to the Filters tab. In the Shape parameter, try some of the options in the drop-down to see what's available here. Let's leave it on Round Rectangle. Now adjust the horizontal and vertical scale sliders so we get all of Buster and as little of the background as possible. If we want to get any tighter, we'd have to move the mask. If you just go to the canvas and drag, you're going to move the entire clip, so I'll undo that. And adjust the Matte Center parameter in the Filters tab. You can enter numerical values, or click on the crosshair. This gives you a red crosshair in the canvas. Click on it and drag to the desired position. But note, if you let go, you'll have to click on the crosshair again in the Filters tab to move it. The tighter you make the matte, the less that can go wrong with your key. But this is a still image. With moving footage, you'd give yourself more slack. And we definitely want to play it back and make sure the matte wasn't obscuring any of the subject's movement. Now, click the Invert checkbox. Uncheck Invert. And remember, the scale and center parameters can be keyframe if the mask needs to change shape over time. Now go to the Matte bin and drag Mask Feather onto our clip. The feather softens the edges and ensures we won't have a hard line around the mask. Click on the filter name to highlight it and hit Delete. Let's delete the mask shape as well. Before we move on to garbage mattes, let's take a little detour. Like a travel matte, an image mask lets you use information from another clip to create a mask, using either the other clip's luminance values or its alpha channel. First, apply the image mask filter to our clip. There are only 3 parameters: a well in which to place your masking clip, a pop-up to select whether you want to use luminance or alpha, and the Invert checkbox. From the browser, drag the Blend Mode test image into the well of the image mask. And note, the channel is set to luminance by default. So you can really see what's happening, drag the file background image into the timeline. and place the Buster clip on top of it. Now, in the browser, double-click the Blend Mode test file to open it in the viewer. With luminance selected as the channel in the image mask, the black areas are transparent, the white areas opaque, and the gray area somewhere in between. Double-click the Buster clip, and in the Filters tab, change the channel to Alpha. There is no alpha channel, so the clip is fully opaque. Click here to reset. This sets the channel back to the default, luminance. Drag the Buster text file into the well. This text is black on black. There's no luminance at all, so the image becomes fully transparent. Click over to Alpha, and the text Alpha channel creates a cutout, making the lettered areas opaque and the rest transparent. Now check the Invert box. Image masks don't have much to do with prepping a key, but they're a great way to get interesting effects.